Very good afternoon to everyone. Initiative Expert Chat Live. This is Manisha Singh, and I'm really excited to be a part of this initiative because it's very close to my heart. And in between, I'll keep sharing as to why I'm part of this and why I work in this area. So a little bit introduction about me. I'm a psychologist. I'm a certified EQ assessor from an organization called 6 Seconds, which is also which helps you to develop yourself as an emotional intelligence coach. And before I start, we start the questions that will come up, and and then we'll start answering. I would like to just share one story. We say that, okay, EQ, emotional intelligence, is a new intelligence in town. But I feel that if we go back to the story, the Panchatantra story that we used to hear about a lion and rabbit. So in case you don't remember the story, I'll just, take maybe 2 minutes to just tell the story. And so this lion was, he had an agreement with the jungle animals that every day they will send one animal to, they'll send one animal to the lion. So the lion doesn't have to, he doesn't have to go to the jungle and then hunt for an animal. So now this day the turn of rabbit was there, and so he went, and lion was very, very angry as to why they've sent a tiny rabbit. So he was furious, and the rabbit said that sir, actually the jungle people had sent 6 rabbits, but you know what, there's another lion who has eaten all the other 5, and I have come. I'm like, I was able to run and come to you. So the lion couldn't believe, and he said, okay, no, show me where he is. So the rabbit took the lion to the to a well, and when he saw the reflection, and he roared, and of course the echo came, and he thought that this is another lion, and he just jumped. Now, we were always told that the moral of the story is that intelligence is superior to physical strength. But I wish that someone would have told us that, okay, emotional intelligence here is superior to the physical strength. And to explain it, that during our childhood we have been told to not express our emotions, or not to feel them, or to ignore them, not to cry, not to express our emotions well. But look at this example. This lion, the emotions that he was feeling were, of course, oh, he was confident, every day an animal is coming, fine, I'm like happy. And this rabbit, I mean, his emotions must be that he must be very scared to death that, okay, his turn has come. So we feel that happiness is a good emotion and fear is a bad emotion. We feel that this is what is being told to us. But despite the so-called good emotion of being confident and happy and all, the lion still couldn't think well, and he jumped to the well, and the rabbit, despite that emotion of being fear, he was able to think through. So the reason why I share the story is that it's a very, very beautiful example of as to how, let's not label emotions as good and bad. It's not about an emotion being good or bad. It's about what you do with that emotion that makes it a good or bad situation. And that is what emotional intelligence is all about, where you tune into your emotions, and try and understand the message. So the fear, the rabbit, that fear that he had was telling him that, okay, boss, I need to do something about the situation. I need to survive. And he was able to come up with some action plan. He was able to come up with some strategy to save himself. So there's no emotion. So the story actually very beautifully tells you that there's no emotion which is good or bad. It's what you do with them that makes it, good or bad, and not to label emotion. So this is a very brief way to just understand the importance and how I entered into this area. Was a very big reason. One was that, okay, I realized that you don't have to be expert in this. You can never be expert in this. So it's always about progress and not perfection. So that pressure is not there on your head. So that it was like, okay, fine. It's a journey that I can take on. And uh, during my childhood and during my even till college, I mean, I've done my psychology from Delhi University. I've done my MBA specialization from SMHRD, and worked in IT sector for around 9 years. And still I felt that I always used to feel, or if people have told me that, okay, being emotional, you're emotional, and I used to really hook on to that, and used to feel that, okay, maybe being emotional is a weakness. And to very honest, even I used to tell in interviews that, okay, my weakness is that I'm emotional. Till a point came in my life when some personal crisis came, and the way I handled it, I realized that being emotional is my strength. And that was the time I realized that you know how actually emotions open up so many avenues for you if you really pay attention to it. Now imagine a situation where, let's say, you know first of all, big thanks to Jobs for Her online portal, which has helped us to connect with each other. So I mean, imagine a situation if they would have put up this flyer and they would have said that, okay, when you come for the session, when you come for this, chat, live chat, please park your emotions outside. And they would have, sent me the same message. What would have been the scenario? I mean, do you think that we can, all of you so enthusiastic about the whole thing that, okay, what it is, and we don't want to know more and how it's going to help in our career. And here, I am looking forward to share whatever little I know and whatever I can learn from your experiences, from your stories. So, if you just simply park the emotions outside, you just cannot perform. And that's the beautiful line that this organization, 6 seconds from where I've done the certification, say that emotions drive people and people drive performance. So this is a very beautiful line, very beautiful thing to understand, that this is what this emotion, that passion to share something, passion to know something, passion to inspire, passion to connect with each other, that is driving us, and we drive the performance. So emotions drive people and people drive performance. So this whole concept of emotional intelligence, the world of emotions, how they open up so many avenues, is very, very interesting, and we're going to explore this as we move ahead to the chat. So right now, let me just look if we have got any questions here. And okay, so I can't see any question, but let's just move ahead to a little bit about. I was generally reading about the kind of work Jobs for Her is doing for all of us, and they mentioned something called Profile Plus, and I totally agree to that. That it's not okay. Let's say a degree or what certification you do is not defining you as such, but your life experiences, defines you. So this area that I'm working in, this, I explored this for 3-4 years, and then I moved ahead to do a certification in this. And during those 3-4 years, I was trying to recollect all the incidents and the organizations that I have worked in, and how, each and every incident was a very good example of when an organization tunes into your feelings. I was very new to an organization where I joined, which was Disha Technologies, which is Mindtree now. And when I was going through a personal crisis, actually I was a very recent joinee, and suddenly my husband fell ill, and I was the kind of support that I got from them, from my CEO, from my boss. And I realized that when the organization understands your feelings, they're not saying that, you cannot bring your feelings here. It's not just about your performance. It's about, seeing you as a person. So emotions does matter. And the kind of support that I got, that really helped me to understand it professionally. So as and when we move ahead, I'll also share a few more incidents. So we have a question from Madhavi. How can we assess ourselves to make ourselves better both in personal and professional life? So I'll repeat the question. How can we assess ourselves to make ourselves better both in personal and professional life? So very good question, and Madhvi, and this really leads to understand one technique in emotional intelligence, which helps us to assess ourselves rather on a daily life. I mean, so let's say that there's a technique called emotional check-in, which, if used consistently, give beautiful results in our life. So what the technique is, that everyday basis, to start with, every hour, do a emotional check-in as to what are the emotions that I'm feeling right now. Because that, and start paying, and to begin with, for maybe 5 or 10 days, just write down what the emotions are. Don't even just don't think about that okay, why is it coming and all. Just every make a diary, and every hour do a emotional check-in, and after a week or so, analyze the emotions that you're feeling and try and ask yourself as to what is the message it is giving you. And as you move on from this technique, you can also start doing the something called BMH scan, which is body mind heart scan. So that means that at the every emotion actually is, a body tells you. Let's say you go for an interview, your hands become cold, or they sweat, or they shake. So your body is conveying that okay, you're feeling some emotion. So write what you're feeling at the body level. Then comes the mind. Ask yourself, okay, what are the thoughts that are coming to my mind generally on a daily basis? And then comes the heart level, as to what kind of what kind of feelings I'm having. So this BMH, body mind heart scan, if you do consistently, Rather journal, make this, keep this journal, and overall it will help you to understand, to tune into what your, what is happening actually. So I suggest that start doing this, and believe me, it will give you results, and you can always write to me as to how you feel after that. Because the 6 seconds name, actually, how it, the initially when I gave the introduction about this certification from 6 seconds, the organization name is called 6 seconds because it says that the information from your emotional brain to cognitive brain, it takes 6 seconds, and within that 6 seconds we kind of sabotage. But at the same time, if you don't let it sabotage, and if it goes to the cognitive, and here cognitive, here even when you're labeling, the labeling means here not labeling as good or bad, but if you're able to actually pinpoint as to what exactly I'm feeling, which means your thinking brain has started. So emotional intelligence is all about your balance of your emotional and rational brain. So we'll move on to another question. So just a minute. Let me read, the another question that we have got. So we have, Sudha is asking, as a woman, we are already almost always high on emotional intelligence, sometimes a bit much. How does one know what's a good measure of the right balance of it? Very, very good question, Sudha. So I'll repeat the question for everyone. As a woman, we're already almost high, always high in emotional intelligence. And I bang on, I mean, absolutely, I, agree with you. Sometimes a bit much, but here, let's say that that's why both extreme are not good, in the sense that, let's say that I'll give you an example. In my assessment, when I did my own assessment, there is a competency called apply consequential thinking, which means that you're thinking about pros and cons of a situation, and that was coming in an expert zone. Now, if you generally see, you will feel that, oh, expert zone means that, okay, you're very good at it. But if I'm overusing that competency, if I'm overthinking, then I might lose on opportunities. I might, there are situations where I need to be spontaneous. I might not be spontaneous then. So that actually made me realize, and I was becoming aware of, where I am as far as this is concerned. So the moment you feel that, okay, if you are feeling that it's a bit too much, ask yourself, how is it reflecting in my daily life? How is it reflecting in my personal and professional life? And do I need to, with that awareness, do I need to do something about it? Like when this happened, when I'm overthinking on something, then I ask myself, I think I'm overthinking and I need to maybe take a quick decision right now. So as an entrepreneur also, I just can't take long that, okay, because every situation will have pros and cons, but if I'm thinking too much, then I might lose out on something. So right, that so how does one know where's a good measure of the right balance? Once you do a journaling and you see how it is reflecting in your daily life, you'll have some idea as to what is happening. So there's so Ritu asked, I've been on a career break for over 8 years now, and I've been planning to return for the past 3 years. But there's always something that holds me back, either a family commitment, low self-confidence, and matters like that. How do I see through my goal? Can you suggest? Ritu, we we all can relate to this question. I was also on a career break, few years back, when my son was around 6-7 months old, and I took a break. And when I came back, I had relocated to US, and when I came back, I was part of there was a project by Tata's, which was Tata Second Career Internship Program, where they were taking women back, they were interviewing them, and I was part of that. And even I had these doubts. All of us have these doubts, that whether I will be equipped or not. But when I went for the interview, and believe me, the parenting role taught me so many things, and my whole interview was all about as to how being a parent has helped me to become actually a better leader, to be very honest. Because all the negotiations that you keep on, I mean, the mindfulness that you get when you're bringing up a child. uh, there's no manual when it comes to parenting, and every day is a new day. And the way you deal with all those multitasking. So, and I was able to relate everything that was happening at the personal level to that. And I got selected, and I was part of that. And that actually, that's why I'm very passionate about this area, because this connected me to my passion, this connected me to my calling. So I suggest that when you say that what something holds me back, so emotional intelligence, very important is your self-awareness. So one, you're very good that, okay, you're aware that, okay, something is holding me back. Now the next step is, okay, what is holding me back, and can I really find out? So if it's, let's say, when you're saying family commitment, so can I talk to my family and ask for support? Because one of the another competency is about communication. Can I communicate what I'm feeling? So and if you're feeling, let's say, then you have mentioned about low self confidence. So you know so why is it that I'm feeling, let's say, confident? Um is it a break that is giving me low confidence? Is it the thing that I'm not, I need to upgrade myself? Maybe ask yourself, is it just have, let's say, then now that it's like excellent that you're part of this platform also, and you have so many mentors, and everybody who's like just a call away. And how can you maybe just connect with them, and try and understand that, and ask yourself, maybe it's just in my mind. So let me, in this question itself, let me give another tip, which is like, which is uh, asking yourself, being aware, and then being intentional. Intentional is, okay, looking at all the options that I have, and what is that I intend to do. So being aware, being intentional, and then being purposeful, that, okay, what is my goal, what is it that I want? So now again, after 11 years, I've come back to US, and I'm not even considering this as a break. I mean, I'm not. I mean, because I feel that, okay, with all this, things around, with so much digital, the technology, and, so many options, it's just been a month that I'm here in New Jersey. And every time I also, if, because there will be days, there will be days where you will feel little, sometimes low, because emotional intelligence doesn't mean that, okay, you will not feel those, sadness or anger, or, no, I mean, you're going to feel them, but you're going to transform it. You're going to ask yourself, okay, what is the highest, what is the goal that I'm looking for, and how is this emotion supporting me? Or how can I change this emotion to support? So so thanks for asking this question, Ritu. So Manju asked, does the EI of men also equate to women's? Because that would help knowing how much to expect of those in our surroundings, at work and at home. So, I mean, so does the EI of men also equate to women's? I mean, I think you will always find, you know, everyone, men or women, irrespective of our gender, we will be, there will be a variation in this kind of skill, depending upon our experiences, about, depending upon our upbringing. So very difficult to actually comment on this, that it's equal or it's more or it's less. It depends upon every individual, where you are in your journey of your awareness about your own emotions. So, but I think in our daily lives, we all know, we all try and see the pattern in others, behavior, and the pattern in our own behavior. And once because everybody has different triggers. So if my, let's say that my, let's say, my son or my spouse will have different triggers and I will have different triggers. So with that awareness, one can, work with this thing. So I'm just moving to the next question. Hamida asks, what is emotional intelligence? How do we put to use? Why is emotional intelligence required in today's scenario? So Hamida, as when we started the chat, I spoke about that emotional intelligence is tuning on to your emotions, tuning on to other emotions, listening to the message that the emotion is conveying, and then asking that how is it supporting me in my goal. So EI is tuning on to your and others' emotions and helping helping yourself and helping the others around you, because it helps you to actually have uh, effectiveness in your job, effectiveness in your daily life. It helps you to manage your energy well. It helps you to have optimum health. So this is definitely very much required. So I'll just give me a second. I'll just move on to another question. So there have been questions, where like let's say Divya Shankar has asked, how do we know where we stand with our emotional intelligence? And can you suggest any ways in which we can access our emotional intelligence? So Divya, there are a lot of tools available. Some tools are free on the net, which helps you to understand, which helps you, there are broad 4 categories that generally, your self-awareness, your self-regulation, your social awareness, and your relationship management. So broadly they give you some so they ask you certain questions and they give you some idea about these 4 parameters. And so you can either look for an online assessment which is freely available, or you can take up an assessment from an organization like 6 Seconds, or there are other organizations also you can see on net. So and if you don't want to, let's say, sometimes we don't believe in a certain tool, let's say, so as initially in the session when I mentioned about something called emotional check-in, and something called body mind heart scan, you can do that regularly um, on a let's say, do it for a month, I will suggest, and see the patterns that are emerging, and see, ask yourself, how is it reflecting? Is it some issue that you're having at the self level, or is it some issue that you're having at an interpersonal level? What is the trigger? You can reach out to any of the people who work in emotional intelligence area, and you can reach out through any tool. So so there is I'm just loading few questions that are coming up. Give me a second. So Madhavi has asked a question. Gender disparity affects women more in workplace. How to handle this kind of situations at workplace? Though it's not explicit, many times it has happened to me indirectly. Yes, Madhavi. There are situations where, yes, I agree that the gender disparity is there, and how to handle this kind of situations at workplace. So whether it's explicitly, or if you feel that okay, it's not very explicit, how to handle is, I believe that it's important that we, ask ourselves as to, is it that, is it happening, let's say, frequently, and what is the pattern that is emerging? What is it? Let's say if you say that, okay, not many opportunities to women, or not calling, let's say, sometimes it happens that, okay, there are certain meetings that you're not called for, or there are certain situations that you're not very involved. There are certain situations, let's say in IT industry, you have, there are calls which are, late in the night, and sometimes, woman is not given that role. Or sometimes even I have seen that, even in interview situations, they will say that, okay, this person is, let's say, expecting, and let's not, give job to this person. These kind of things do happen, I agree. But in these situations, uh, if it's happening, and is there any way that we can, kind of approach to the person who's, doing it? Or if you feel that, we can talk it out and handle at that level where we express, so any organization which is tuning on, which is, which is high on emotional intelligence, will try to understand. And you so mainly through communication, basically, it can be handled. So I suggest that try that approach. I'm sure you would have done that, and maybe, you can ask yourself, okay, what are the other options to deal with this? And maybe sit with that person as to, this is what I'm feeling. And sometimes there is another side of the story, and sometimes people don't, have time to say that, okay, why they have done what they are doing. So a talk can help to resolve the situation. So, give me, I'm just loading few. Okay, so Madhvi has another question. Emotional fluctuation between passionate job and other compulsive jobs. This fluctuation comes out of our family situations, kids and parents. How we can balance this for a peaceful career? Also, it would be helpful if you could share some reliable online tools for AI assessments to kickstart with. So coming to your first question, emotional fluctuation between passionate job and other compulsive jobs. This fluctuation comes out of our family situation. So yes, Madhavi, you know, we as someone else initially has pointed out also, that we women are like great at multitasking, and but yes, it becomes very taxing, and I believe that. I see more it off as, energy management. That where is my energy going? It's very important to keep on having that check as to, if I'm feeling a little imbalance, what is the source of that imbalance, and can I take some action towards that? Is it, let's say that, if why is, this even emotional intelligence, when we talk about, because there are too many emotions at one time. The research says that there are some 64,000 thoughts in a typical day that we have, and every thought has an emotion. So that means there are so many emotions. So sometimes it happens that, okay, there is a loudest emotion, let's say in a conflict situation, or if there is an argument going on, so one can see that anger, that, okay, anger is the loudest emotion here. But if you really see, then there are other emotions around it. It can be loneliness, it can be not able to communicate, to the other person as to what exactly you're feeling. It can be multiple things, at the same time. And if we really pay attention that, okay, why is it happening? Let's say sometimes, we come back from office, and we kind of, we it's the kid is out of excitement, is asking something, and if I'm carrying some emotion from my office, and I'm just, screaming at him. But if I'm little aware, I might, I will be able to think that, okay, it is not that, okay, this kid is making me upset, but rather the some situation at some other level which has, made this. So this is also very important way to own that. Okay, instead of, let's say, if I say that, okay, you made me upset, then I have given that power to that person, right? That, okay, you are making. Rather, it's like, okay, if I say that, okay, I'm angry, or this is what I'm feeling right now, then I'm owning it up. So there is another technique that can help you in this, something called VET. So which is again given by the organization 6 seconds, and I really use that very often, as to very important to validate. So VET is validate your emotion first. So never say that, okay, I should not be feeling this way, or this is let me just ignore this. No, validate that, okay, this is what I'm feeling. Then comes E, explore. Explore the different options that you have, you know, or explore the different emotions around it. And then comes the T, which is transform. And, the navigation part. That how can I navigate this to, as, we spoke about earlier, being aware, being intentional, and then being purposeful. That what is the purpose? So when you say that, yes, family situation, kids, parents, a lot of things that happen. Now, where is my energy going more? Where is that I need to manage my energy? Because all said and done, it is my personal, it is my job to take care of my emotions. And and I can always ask for support. So sometimes it happens that we assume in relationship issues, we assume that, okay, you should have understood. We might say that, oh, aapko samajh mein nahi aaya kya, or you should have, I thought that you will understand what I'm going through. No, if you feel that the other person has not understood, then please express. At least from your side, you will feel that, okay, I've expressed myself. So, and about reliable online tools for AI assessments. So what I'll do, I'll also write to the team also, and I'll send a couple of online tools that are available. Some of them are free, some of them are not free, so that you can pick and choose as to whatever is your need right now. So I'll just refresh just to see if we have some other questions. So Shweta has asked any books or online resources that can be recommended for EI or energy management. So there are a lot of so even if you really go to 6 seconds website, there are a lot of very good reading material, very good articles that they give. Actually, that was one of the reasons, when I was researching on that, and it took me 3 years to actually zero onto as to where I should do it from. So they have excellent articles on that. And the so Daniel Goleman book on emotional intelligence also is a very helpful book, and a lot of HBR articles also. There are very good articles on energy management. And Shweta, I will definitely share a few of the online resources with the team, and which can be posted here. So there are. So let me just see any other question that we have. So overall, questions have been on assessments, and how do we manage. So there are, let's just recap on few things that we spoke about. As to one, personally I feel that let's not label any emotion as good and bad, and try and increase our emotional vocabulary. there are a lot of information on increasing our emotional vocabulary, and thanks to even WhatsApp, emojis, I really feel that they really help to convey our emotions. So increasing emotional vocabulary helps you. The BMH scan helps you, and the vet process, and asking yourself these three questions, as to being aware, being intentional, and being purposeful. So remembering what is the outcome that I'm looking for, and tuning on to the emotions, your emotions, your others emotions, and so that you can have an optimum life. Your daily life also improves because of this awareness. So we are done with questions. It was great catching up with all of you. I really enjoyed. I hope to some extent I have, helped. And my last, thing on the forum, I mean, right now will be that let's not consider anything as a break, because everything, is a way to recharge, to rejuvenate you. And it helps you to assess actually as to, where you are, what you're good at, what your passion is, and even what skills you have actually gathered in that break time also. So how can you show a break as your as a resource rather. So all the best on your journey. Happy journey on the EQ path. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you to Jobs for Her team. They have been very patient in handling all my calls. We are in different time zones. So thanks a lot to everyone here. So I'll sign off.